Making our way back to the Pioneer category, this next guy will have quite a few stories. I know he can tell. Let's welcome Kevin Greven to the stage to induct our newest member, James Ince Jr. I want to take just a second here, Kevin, as you come up and just, I don't need to interject a lot. We got a lot that we can say about these guys, but from a young age, I was at Bolivar one night, and they ran a late model race. It was a Marsh race or an MLRA race, and James was there with Will, and they were racing at the time, and he was a Winston Cup crew chief, and he took the time to talk to me about racing and whatnot, and they ran a closed test after that. And he probably remembers the night he was down in the infield with the radios, and said they were going to run about a 50-lap test that night. For a kid that had zero connections to racing growing up, that was something that always stuck with me, and it's cool you made time for a kid, man.
All right, guys, so 2 or 3 things I want to throw out here first. First, Trenton Berry. Trenton, we don't really have it written into our script to thank him, but if you knew how many things that Mark throws at him and I throw at him and how many changes we make from the time he walks in the door to the time he comes up here. He didn't ask for anything to do this, but he comes and MCs this thing every year. I know Kevin Fletcher, there's several others here that have done the same thing, and we appreciate that. But I want to ask for a round of applause for Trenton Berry, because he does a lot. And we expect that and beyond that, everything he does in order to race dirt as well. So first of all, no shirt tucked in. So if you want to introduce James Ince, you got to walk around with no shirt tucked in, because I don't know if I've ever seen him, even when an NASCAR official was jumping down his neck, I don't know if there was ever a shirt tucked in. Number one. Number two, I'm glad Mark is sitting next to this door, because listening to Randy talk about Ronnie and everything he's done through the years, we want to make sure that door doesn't disappear, or it'll be in the next auction, I'm afraid. So anyway, yeah, last one he said brought $1,400. So a couple things I caught. Also, another thing I caught from the, and James, I'm going to get to you in a second, but another thing I caught was listening to the track promoters talk about their upcoming season. And if you guys listen, almost every one of them had a Phillips Memorial in that season. And that's a big homage to Larry Phillips, to the Phillips family and what they do. So, and I know Terry signs off, or at least gives a blessing to pretty much everything on that side. He loves the fact that everybody, and I don't want to speak for him, but that everybody has so much respect for that family. But I think it's really cool that these promoters want to respect the Phillips family, and I think it's really cool that the Phillips family wants to allow it to happen. So I want to let a round of applause on that as well. All right, so I had a pretty long piece put together for today. And what I did, I reached out to some of the people in this room. I reached out towards Michigan. I reached out towards North Carolina. I could go a lot of different states, and I was looking for James Ince stories. And I got ready to do this, and James looked at me and he said, "Kevin, my mom, Barbara, is going to be in the room." So pretty much throughout everything that I had, I can't tell any of the stories that I had. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit and just kind of tell you a little bit about James, if you don't know. A lot of you guys do know, kind of his history. His racing started and he's going to go back through and probably correct me on this, but if anybody knows James, he'll just tell you flat out, he went to the Larry Phillips School of Racing. That's where he learned pretty much everything he learned to carry him through the career, and he's proud of that. He's very, very proud of that. He helped Larry win national championships in 91 and 92, for you guys that don't know, and it says it on that plate of that beautiful car that Marty Denny brought up here, that replica car, 5-time national champion. In the NASCAR Winston Racing Weekly Series, which is incredible. And I know James is very proud to be a part of the 2 of those championships through those years. And like I said, Larry Phillips School of Racing is where he learned things from. In '93, he went up to Roush Racing, left our area, went up to North Carolina, went up to Roush Racing, and assisted Mark Martin in 7 wins out of 14 starts in the, what is now, I guess, the Xfinity Series, or wherever it is out there, and that name has changed so many times, I'm going to tell you wrong, whatever it was. But he got, and Mark Martin was the guy with roots from back in this area for you guys that were around Springfield and Bolivar and all those things back then. So it was cool for him to be a part of that, be a part of Roush Racing. Ted Musgrave, Kevin LePage, I can remember Musgrave coming to Bolivar Speedway and running an event or two back there, back in those days as well. Dale Jarrett's 1996 Daytona 500 title came with James as the car chief for that car as well. He was car chief for Tyler Jet Motorsports. Had Johnny Benson leading the Daytona 500 for a whole lot of laps one year as well on a totally unsponsored car. I mean, very cool things that you don't normally see out there. Won at Rockingham one year as well. Through his career in the 3 divisions, through the Truck Series, through the Nationwide Xfinity, whatever you want to say, and through the Cup Series, won somewhere almost just shy of 50 events in those 3 series as a crew chief. That's incredible. And that's a kid that came from right here in our backyard that got to do those things. So 2003 IMC and National Late Model Champion, I think that's one of the things that he's most proud of. He put that probably up there with the things he did with LP before he left. So from there, I know he doesn't want to be a big talker. He's really proud of the 7 guys that he's going in with, and to him, it's their night and it's their show. But he's my friend, and I'm proud to have him up here tonight. Introduce Mr. James Ince.
Wow. I guess the first thing I got to point out is Trent and I remember that night. We were going to run a 50-lap test. Will killed the car in 5. I got home later, had divorce papers. It was a great weekend. Wonderful weekend. The good side of it is a great memory. You know that.
Yeah, better for me than
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. I'm standing here of all places. I'm probably the only person on this stage that has media training, has been sent to school, knows how to talk to people, be on national TV. And this is the one room that I've had a very, very hard time imagining how I was going to speak in. This is home. We've done a lot here. There's so many people in this room that affected my life and the things that I wanted to do in my life. You just can't put that in speech. I have genuinely spent the last month trying to put it on paper, and there's no way to do that. If I did do that, I would leave somebody out. Kevin was definitely correct about one thing. I'm extremely proud to be from Springfield, Missouri. No better racers in the world than right here. I learned the tools that I needed to go racing in what they call the big world, you know, out there in that NASCAR land. It's just as hard to race here as it is to race there, without a doubt. So my speech is actually going to be pretty short, just based on the fact that I'll forget somebody. There's no way to point out that everything that happened in my life that got me to where I wanted to go. I for sure need to thank my family. I always had one partner in crime in everything that we did in racing, and that was my dad. He's not here today. We lost him last year, but you know, it was me and him against Mom most of the time. That's how we got race cars and how we went to the racetrack. I definitely miss him. He should be here. He's the reason that I'm here. So, I don't know. You can hear my voice shaking. This wouldn't happen in Charlotte, North Carolina. It can only happen here, because these are the people that I always cared about. These are the people that matter. When I was at the racetrack on Sunday afternoon, I was racing for everybody here. So, it's unusual for it to be short. I told Bart Bates earlier that he needed to come speak for me because in this room I couldn't, and he thought I was joking. And I was dead serious about it. So, all I can really say is thank you, and that's not strong enough words, because everybody here gave me a wonderful life. I've been a pretty lucky guy. So, thank you very much.